Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Hello and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Jonah, and I'm here with Corey.
Yo.
And Josh.
What's up?
Hey, we're going to jump right into some trailer talk. We got some Deadpool and Wolverine, a second trailer, and we got the Transformers 1 trailer that we're going to kind of break down and talk about. So let's just start with the Deadpool one, because I think we're probably all on the same page with this one. What do you guys think of the trailer? We finally got to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I feel like in the first teaser, it was like kind of teasing he was there, although we all knew he was going to be there. What were your guys' thoughts on the Deadpool and Wolverine second trailer?
Are we blasting and trashing, or are we just...
We can do whatever you want. You want to blast the trash? We can blast the trash.
We can blast the trash.
I don't know what button is the trash. We'll figure it out.
You'll just do it.
Yeah.
Josh, what you got for us, bro? He's thinking about it.
I'm trying to remember what button blast and
Just
trash
don't
was.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's okay.
I thought it looked pretty sweet. Mostly just I'm excited to see Wolverine. I actually haven't seen a Deadpool movie. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen Deadpool.
You know what I mean?
I haven't seen Deadpool
we know
1
what
and
you
2.
mean.
You know what I mean when I say that I haven't seen one of them? Like, my
Yeah,
eyes
there
have
you
not
go.
seen.
There you go.
Like literally,
Like, literally, bro. I haven't seen one.
Wow.
Actually?
Actually?
Yeah. Yeah, so the only reason I'm going to watch this movie is because of Wolverine
Yeah.
and all the other probably crazy cameos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they say that X20, the girl, what's the girl's name from the, is it X22?
From Logan. Yeah, she's
Supposed to be in it?
she's
Yeah. Like the old.
So I'm
gonna be
excited
grown up.
Daphne Keene.
Yeah. And then like maybe Gambit's going to be in it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just in it to watch like all the crazy cameos.
There's so many rumors out there that Channing Tatum's going to be in it as Gambit. There's so much stuff. Like Henry Cavill might show up as Cyclops or Magneto.
Yeah.
The thing that came out today was like the post-credit scene is one of the craziest ones ever. That they can't believe that no one has
Leaked
spoiled it. Because it's just crazy. It's just, I don't know. It's
If I was going to spread some information, I would say something like that.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's what Marvel does.
Like, I would leak that on purpose for sure to
because-
get people
yeah,
hyped.
Even if the movie sucks, it's like, yeah, but that post-credit scene.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I mean, I think it should be a pretty. I don't know if I'm gonna get like
No.
emotional about it. You know what I mean?
No.
But I did kind of like how they were making it kind of emotional. Of like,
Yeah.
oh, you're the reason you're
This Wolverine
universe
let everyone die.
let everyone die. So I think that's kind of a cool aspect of it. But yeah, I'm mostly excited about the Wolverine. That one shot of like his fist and then the blades coming out. I was like, that looks freaking sweet.
They're
And this suit looks cool.
really slow.
Yeah.
What are your
awesome.
thoughts on that? As far as like, what do you think happened? Because I saw some people speculating, like, in X-Men, he kills Jean Grey before she goes all Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, whatever. They're like, did this Wolverine not kill her? And then because of that, like, it's just kind of cool to speculate, like, what did he do that made everyone, I would assume
I'm sure they'll go
something
into
with
it
a
a little
Jean
bit.
Grey would be. I'd assume that's kind of like the
his weak
best
spot.
thought.
That's
'cause
his
it's
weak spot.
yeah.
his weak spot, and
Yeah.
then she's so powerful that she would murder every X-Men.
Yeah.
But interesting. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea of I'm not that sold on the TVA being a part of it because I'm just like, it just feels like
Because you hate the TV.
But I do like the aspect of like the 20th Century Fox kind of like universe being in
being destroyed.
being destroyed, all that. Some of the
It's pretty funny.
if you pause it at a certain spot, there's some of the X-Men that were in the other movies that were there. So I'm kind of like, it's connecting a certain way. I like the villain seems cool, which is Charles Xavier's twin that Charles Xavier tried to murder or kill in the womb because he knew she was evil. So that's kind of like her story, and she's comes out and she basically, it's crazy. It's nuts.
It's crazy. It's crazy that she's also bald. You know what I mean? That's the craziest part of that story.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
But that seems interesting to me too. I don't know much about the character, but it's like, that might be an interesting villain. But yeah, we'll see. I think, like you said, Hugh Jackman's the biggest draw for me as well.
Yeah, I've watched all the Deadpool movies. I go in there with an open heart and mind.
First one's better than the second. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. The whole shtick with him is always going overboard.
Yeah.
Always over the line, breaking the walls. That's the only aspect where I'm like, I hope, because they're going to be using other characters.
Yeah.
Well, those characters, they've always been separated. Like, they're in Deadpool's little movies and they exist there. But it's like Deadpool recognizes the fourth wall breaking and then like the other characters don't. Like, it's kind of a weird interaction. So,
yeah.
I don't know. You go there and you just try to have a good time, and most people are going to be cracking up. You know it. That's actually one of the worst things about it is you go to these movies and these guys
dying.
they have a few drinks before they get into the movie and they're just dying of laughter. And I mean, it's people are supposed to have fun, but
yeah, I agree with you on that. There's a fine line. I think the humor there, for me personally, I know people eat this stuff up, but for me, there's a fine line between like, I can't watch a ton of these movies.
No.
Because after a while, it just feels like, okay, we've done that joke.
Yeah.
So that's
Slapstick.
my only thing with Deadpool is like, okay, is there going to be like those emotional moments? That's what I'm looking for. And how does he interact with these other characters? Like if he breaks the fourth wall, is Wolverine going to do it too? Like that kind of stuff. I just feel like it's not sustainable for what I like. I know there's people that absolutely love it. So what interests me more about this one is bringing in the X-Men, and this seems to be like the introduction to the X-Men universe for Marvel. So that's why this one's intriguing me a lot more.
I mean, if we're just taking the trailer into account, everything worked for me. Like I wasn't like, oh boy, here we go again. Like, I actually enjoyed the trailer. It was good, and like the jokes were fine, and I don't know. I mean, it is a trailer, so it has to be, E basically.
Yeah, and I laughed at the final one where, he's bringing up, we can't say Coke, there's a list of it. Yeah. Like, that was funny to me.
And I will say, do you guys think that they'll address the giant Celestial's hand, like in the earth? Because everyone's like freaking out about that. Is this going to be the 8th movie in a row where they don't talk about the Celestial hand?
So, Joe Russo, one of the Russo brothers that did the Avengers, he posted a picture of
the
Celestial coming out, and he's like, "Here's the question." He's like, "I keep asking, they haven't addressed this." People are saying that someone in an interview said that's going to be addressed soon.
Yeah,
but it's just like it's
been a
doesn't
meme.
matter.
It's a meme
forever.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it in Deadpool.
There. No, I don't think so.
But I do think they're realizing
it could be a good joke though.
Yeah,
that's why I say.
But I don't think it's
pretty good joke.
I don't think it's the official like explanation. I think they're going to do one like in Captain America or something, where they're like.
But I will say
the city inside.
One of the best ways to like start erasing and making people forget about mistakes is making fun of your mistakes.
Right.
It's a good strategy.
What I think they'll do is they'll do like
but they'll have
Harrison Ford playing Ross. We'll have like a briefing. It's like, yeah, we
got to do something about that.
Do something about that Celestial, or whatever. Or it's going to be a military base or something like top secret. Like it'll just be something in passing.
They'll never know where it is.
So,
yeah.
Are we giving it? Are we out blasting off?
I think so.
Blast.
Oh, what a blast!
Yeah, got it. All right, next trailer that we're going to discuss is Transformers 1. Now, I've been lied to. The internet lied to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because for months I was saying, apparently there's a new Transformers
Into the Spider-Verse.
It's going to be like Into the Spider-Verse like style is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it's not anything close to Into the Spider-Verse. It's kind of...
I mean, it's something. It's animated.
It's animated. It feels more like not a Pixar movie, but kind of... I mean, it's just
there's character.
The
like there's
audience,
jokes and stuff.
Yes. The trailer was really focused on the humor of it.
Yeah.
So that was... I think a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't mind it that much because I was like, okay, I see what they're going at, like what the audience and all that kind of stuff. But having the idea of like Into the Spider-Verse animation, a Transformers movie, finally with no humans, it did kind of put the knocked the wind out of my sails, you will.
It felt to me more like a kid like movie. And so I actually wasn't bugged as much about it as maybe a lot of people on the internet were.
Yeah.
I was more okay with it. I was just more like, okay, like this is a different story, like different angle to go. So I don't know.
I was kind of surprised no like minions showed up and banana illumination.
Yeah.
You know, just because it did have that like
that energy
and that like the humor in it. Not that
it was more serious, dude, than that. It was. Come on, bro. Give it more credit. Like at least Optimus was a little more serious. He's always serious. But Bumblebee or what's his name?
Yeah, B.
Yeah,
They just,
B.
they just
B,
call him B,
I guess. You know, he's going to be the comedic relief. I don't know.
I thought shots were cool. Like when
I thought it was going to be different. I think that's the thing. I was expecting
it's all
different.
Jonah's fault, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I played the trailer and I was like, I'm excited for an a cool animated Transformers movie. We're getting like some origin stuff.
And we saw this in the theater too.
We're getting rid of
trailer.
you guys did?
We did.
Yeah, nice.
We're getting rid of the humans. You know,
That's what we've
this is
been
what I've been
saying.
saying. I don't care about the humans. Give me the Transformers. And then I started watching and I was like,
that ain't
what?
it.
This isn't.
Is there another animated?
It almost felt like something that wasn't Transformers, but something like adjacent to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. For me, it was kind of like probably a mix between like I was expecting something different that was a little disappointing,
Yeah,
but then
I think that's
also
part of
it was like I'm one of those people that didn't like all the humor. Like it seemed like very, very
They threw
just
a ton
like,
of it in the trailer.
like rapid fire, like super goofy. We talked about it a little bit before. I did like that one bit where I think it's B, like something explodes or something
like it's so beautiful here,
yeah,
and then
he's like. He takes off running the other way or whatever. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other
like kid show.
A lot of the other humor was very just like, okay, just like basic humor, kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I guess that's what they're going for. They're like, before they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were nerds, you know, or like kind of lame.
They're scrubs. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, well, we'll see.
I don't think I give this a blast. I think it might be trash.
I mean,
it
didn't get me excited to watch it. So for that reason alone, not that,
like
I said, I need to readjust. I need to readjust my expectations,
bro.
But it'll be a trash.
Trash.
Which one did I press?
That top right one was
that was blast. Middle one.
Trash.
Probably
did it.
Asterisk.
Probably trash.
Trash.
Maybe
probably.
trailer 2 will be better.
If they showed a more serious trailer, I would be more on board.
Hey, this isn't a
Nope. You're right.
opinion on the movie as
You're
itself
right.
or the quality.
Absolutely.
It's just
Absolutely.
the trailer.
You're
I think
right.
it's trash. The trailer was trash. Hopefully the movie's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we move on to talk about X-Men 97, I just want to throw, I think some of you guys know who Star Wars Theory is,
Yeah.
right?
The guy that doesn't like screws.
Didn't
Guy
he get
doesn't like
canceled?
screws. No, he's still doing his stuff.
All right.
Anyways, this came across today as I was
across your desk.
came across my desk as I was
You mean
preparing
his desk
for
onto
the
your
show.
desk? Yeah.
He was in an interview with the guy that made the first lightsaber. I can't remember his name, but he worked on the original.
George
model.
Lucas.
And he knows George Lucas, right? But
was like
he
the
was
first
saying
Jedi?
he was saying that what he has heard is he's like that George Lucas is coming back to do a live action series for
No way.
Lucasfilm. And he's like, I'm just hearing this from like chatter and stuff, but I think the announcement is going to probably be pretty soon. So I just want to throw that out there. If
I hope it's so weird.
if George Lucas came back to do something, what do you want him to do? Like a live action series, just a movie? And what do you think like are the possibilities of that? Like, is that a 50-50 chance? He has been talking more about Star Wars and being nice to Disney. You know, before he was like, white slavers. And now he changed his tune where it was like, I've always wanted to sell to them. I like what they've been doing. Dave Filoni has brought him into a lot of the shows and he's been on sets and stuff. Could that be in the future? What do you guys think of that whole idea?
I think part of me wants him to do like
Die. I thought that's what you were going to say.
It does sound like you're going to say that.
Part of me wants him to just
drop dead.
Dang.
No, I mean, he had mentioned before, like, oh, we want to do a show about midichlorians and I'm like, yes, do the crazy weird show, George. Do it, and so everyone can be like, this sucks.
I'm glad we got to these Star Wars.
Part of me wants that, but I think it's perfectly set up for a Yoda. He needs to do a series about Yoda. You know what I mean? I think that would be kind of cool.
The origins.
Give us the origin of Yoda.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool and interesting. We can get into the Old Republic stuff with Yoda, a different timeline, and you get George Lucas back to tell it.
That's a good.
Wow. I want him to do some kind of like, I like the idea of centering around one character. I think that's fun. We also haven't really seen him do that too much, so that'd be really cool. Maybe a character that he didn't even make. So maybe we zoom in on Babu Frick and we look into his origin story.
Nice. I like that.
Now, I mean, Yoda's obviously awesome, but I don't think he would do that because the whole idea of Yoda is supposed to be mysterious. You're not supposed to know. That's from him about it. And so I don't think he would do that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like prequel.
Yeah.
Midichlorian stuff is dope. I'm down.
I changed my answer.
Prequel.
Oh, give me your answer.
No, give your answer. I don't really have an answer.
Jar Jar show. Easy.
Jar Jar show. Darth Jar Jar?
No,
Is that
just
the-
Jar Jar.
is that the reveal?
Senator Jar Jar show.
Senator Jar Jar. Senator
the
Jar
day
Jar.
to day.
It's just him going through meetings.
Yeah.
Just him going in.
Note taking.
That's
Misa, like so much.
The after parties. Misa like the drink.
It's like Andor. It's like all the scenes from Andor
Just
with
with Jar Jar.
Yeah,
With Jar Jar, yeah.
That would be so good, dude.
That'd be great.
I'm down.
just replace Mon Mothma and put
Yes.
Jar Jar in, and that's the show.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Now imagine like the speech that the guy gives. I can't remember what his name, but just Jar Jar giving it.
Yeah.
Luthen.
Way
Yeah.
better. Way
Like-
better.
Yeah.
Misa think the Empire are bad peoples.
That'd be great. What about
But
you?
a new sun come up and rise for us to live with. Woo!
Yeah. What about
Big
you?
group of fish.
All right. All right, you know what?
Cody.
I don't want to know what you.
Yeah. Never mind.
Freaking Jar Jar.
Yeah, I don't know. I think originally I was like, oh, well, could he handle like the in between, like Luke at his peak Jedi before?
Why would he go back and touch that stuff though? If I was him, I would steer clear.
Yeah.
Because what he's done is good. People love it.
But all right,
But the
Just-
bar is low, so he could
the
knock
bar
whatever
is
out,
low. But
out of
if
the park.
Dave Filoni was like, oh yeah, my movie's a trilogy, right? And I'm going to do the first two. And then George Lucas is going to direct the final one where Luke comes in and it's basically heir to the Empire, Thrawn versus Luke. And you're having Luke in his prime in the hands of the creator. I think that would like a lot of people would freak out over that. But I do think probably the best thing to do is do something that's either super in the back with Old Republic, original Jedi,
Steer
original
clear of the
Sith,
main.
or he's going to go what he wanted to do with his sequel trilogy, which was going to be like, we're going to go inside the bloodstreams, and there's a whole universe inside the midichlorians, and there's this whole thing.
What was that movie called? Osmosis Joe.
I think it was called. Yeah.
That's what it would be. So I think that's what
look
he'd
it up,
want to do.
kids.
Yeah, there was another cartoon that went into like the bloodstream.
There's like an anime.
Oh, it was there's an anime?
Yeah, Crystal's brothers always talking about.
There was an episode of what's the one? Hey Morty. Rick and Morty. There we go. It was an episode of Rick and Morty where they had like this internal battle inside someone's body and there's a whole civilization and the different organs
There you
and
go, George.
bloodstreams.
There you go.
So you could just rip that and just
You
do
could.
it Star Wars.
Say it was an original idea. Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. We'll see if it happens. It was just kind of just discussed, but it does seem like he's
I would be
being
amazed.
around a little more and warming up to the
He's
idea.
hanging around. The
So I
ranch.
just feel like if Dave Filoni said,
Just
hey, would
hanging
you
around.
be interested in even directing an episode of something, of Ahsoka 2? I mean, if that reveal that George Lucas, like they do it out of celebration, right? Where they'd be like, oh, we're going to announce George Lucas directing something. I mean, the room would go wild. That'd be
You
insane.
think he would?
I think he would.
The old master, the creator of it.
That's right.
It then got just demolished and crayon was marked all over his beautiful creation. And then they invite him to add to that creation again after they've already sullied it.
But here's the thing.
You think he'd be
A
okay
lot
with
of people...
that? If the check's big enough, he would.
A lot of people complain that he used crayon to ruin the original trilogy. Because a lot of people hated the prequels.
Who made that?
Well, he
it was
did. But
him
what
with other people.
what
but-
I'm saying is like,
yeah.
I think with what's happened with all Star Wars is it's always like the young fans are like, oh, I really love the prequels. The original fans like, I hated it. The young fans really love the sequels. The older fans are like, those are stupid. So that's always going to happen. At this point, you just, if you get George
but no
Lucas
one's
to do
saying
anything.
the new stuff was good. Like the third trilogy. Like no one says that.
I say, I like some stuff about the
No
new
one's
trilogy.
saying that.
There's a lot of Rey fans.
And
Where?
Ray-Bans.
Show me the Reddit that's like, I love
can,
Ray.
I can find you some Ray fans.
There's a lot of Raylo fans out there.
A lot of Raylo fans. That's right.
You know why?
Maybe J-Lo.
No, there's not,
Not
really J-Lo
Raylo.
fans right now.
You know why this isn't going to happen?
Why?
It's because it's a prop dude that was like, I'm hearing there's some rumblings around.
Bro, he got invited to a guy who does Star Wars theories. And he's like, I gotta bring something to this guy. I gotta have some kind of
gotta break
ammunition.
It could
Internet.
be. It could
Yeah,
be.
for real.
But he is the OG
So,
lightsaber man.
Those
Well,
people have nothing to do with Star Wars anymore.
He makes models. Dude.
But he could still be talking to George. They're buds.
No.
George.
I don't think it'll happen.
He's like,
That'd be really cool.
I'm really, don't tell anybody, but
Why
I
is,
might be
why
coming
is
back.
Owen Wilson talking
might-
about
Also,
I
Michael
might- I
Jackson.
might be coming back for some Star Wars directing, but don't tell anybody. I felt like that was
It
a great
is
George
more-
Lucas. I thought it was a pretty. I mean,
Wilson.
it was.
Definitely Owen Wilson.
You got one? You got a George Lucas in there?
I'll do it
Then
next.
you can't. Then you can't. Then you can't bag on mine.
Sure I can. I just did. Bagged it.
All right, we're gonna move on to discuss X-Men '97.
Oh.
Next week is the finale. The beginning of the finale because it's a 3-parter. So it's kind of set up. It starts with spoilers for those of you who haven't watched.
Go watch it.
Yeah,
It's
go
so
watch
good.
it. They're 23-minute episodes. I mean, it's easy. It starts with Gambit's funeral, which was obviously
Did you
rough.
shed a tear?
I didn't shed
For
a
Remy?
tear. Nightcrawler doing the
The Lord's work?
The Lord's work.
He's awesome. He's so good.
I agree with Jubilee, like getting them mad, like where's Rogue? What the heck is she doing? Why is she not here? She should
Did
be
you
here.
agree with Rogue? Or with Jubilee?
Jubilee.
Yeah, she should have been
This is
there.
the first time this guy's
Yeah,
ever
and
agreed with
then-
Jubilee.
That's great.
And then we see Rogue just going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was dope.
And Captain America showing up.
That's pretty sweet.
That was pretty funny. I was like, all right, cool.
What did you guys think of the episode? Did you guys? I really enjoyed it, but what did you guys think?
It was crazy. Well, because the first part, yeah, we could anticipate this stuff happening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need to hunt down who did this, blah, blah, blah. But like, it was all pretty standard stuff. And you know, you feel the emotions a little bit of Rogue and seeing how much she's struggling with it. And I think that was really well done. But it's all about the last like 2 minutes of the
Yeah.
episode, which is nuts. But yeah, generally the episodes are just bangers. They're just bangers after
they're
bangers,
good.
except for one of them, the arcade like virtual world one. My mom said she did not like that one, but she's been loving it otherwise. But yeah, no, I think it's just been great.
Yeah.
I love the interactions. All the characters are really good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the episodes, they honestly feel longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Like the action's really good. Like getting like Rogue basically going nuts. It's pretty sweet. The fight scenes were cool. And then, yeah, I mean, bringing in Captain America and stuff like that. Like, I think they're just going to keep bringing in, more 90s cartoons.
Rumor is Spider-Man is going to be
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
finale.
that'd be pretty sweet.
That's what they've been saying.
And then, yeah, just
Batman animated series crossover.
crazy crossover.
And then what's his face came back again. His son. What's his name?
Cable.
Cable.
Oh, yeah. That
That was cool.
that one scene where it's through the reflection of Cyclops' visor. And you see Cable's face. I was like, that's
Yeah, that's cool.
cinema. It's poetry. It rhymes.
That's George Lucas.
Yeah,
that's a joke.
That one's
That was
great.
better.
Way
Let us know in the
better.
comments which one was better, mine or Josh's. If you can even
That
tell
was a
who
good
the
quote.
difference
That was a great
It
quote.
was,
though.
it was an
That was a great
actual
quote.
George Lucas quote.
Direct.
But yeah, the episodes were really good. Yeah, I'm just curious. I wasn't actually. I don't know who the villain is at the end.
Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I only know that because I had subtitles on. That is the only reason.
yeah, because they kept being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's
and,
him."
And
I
apparently
was
they
like,
beat him before, but then he said, "Oh, I
I've
evolved."
Yeah, I don't remember him from the original one. So I was
Or-
like,
Yeah, he
Nerd
so
knowledge fails.
I don't remember it either, but I was just in seeing
You
what
looked it
people
up?
were talking about. Apparently, like he's you can't use. He's immune to telekinesis stuff, and he's like really strong, and
Yeah.
so like he's like one of the X-Men's biggest villains.
so he's and he had Magneto.
Are they
Yeah.
gonna? How are they gonna explain that?
Probably not.
How you
Like
think
how
they'll
Magneto
just-
survived.
Yeah.
No, he's a clone. There was actually a trapdoor underneath. It was all staged.
Oh, 'cause
Opens up.
he could be a clone.
The other one could be.
Magneto
other
could
one?
be the other one he has could be a clone.
Could.
Yeah, but it seemed like this one, like he would have had a full beard. He just had some stubble.
What
So-
do you mean?
If he was a
Jean Grey didn't have a beard. I mean,
Touche, bro.
I'm just saying. I assume there's gonna be
Dang,
something like
logic.
he didn't really die. It was
Okay.
we never saw his body.
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on that, but I think they'll probably explain it a little in a very quick
Yeah,
manner. But yeah, that was interesting.
that
The end was sick.
that like, oh
I
yeah, it
didn't
was
think-
crazy when Rogue dropped
Yeah,
the dude off the
Yeah, Trask.
building.
yeah.
I was like, dang, that's crazy.
What a bummer, though. Out of all the people that were fake dead,
Yeah.
it was the wrong guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We want Gambit to be alive,
that's
but
what I'm
he
saying.
imploded himself. So that's kind of a tough one to kind of mask. You know,
Yeah, what did they? Oh, I guess his body. He
he was like
body
super
there.
charred up.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up.
I will say I did like the scene with Kurt and Rogue where he's like talking to her.
Oh,
And she's like, talking about, but I'm like, is it perpetually a Day of the Dead in Mexico on all these shows? You know what I mean? Like anytime they're in Mexico, they're
Yeah,
like,
they'll
well,
go
it's
to
Day of
Mexico
the Dead.
City. Yeah,
It just happens to be Day of the Dead,
It's-
guys.
yeah.
We do it all. It
they
just
could have
happens.
done
Day of
something
the
different
Dead,
where
is
they're
that a
watching
monthly?
Coco or something, and she's like,
we
huh.
should have done.
Un poco loco.
That's what it should have been. Instead of the Day of the Dead, they just walk by
They
like
watch
a
the Coco-
taco
this
stand.
little kid
Guys
with a
making some
guitar.
tacos, and like on the little TV on the
Loco,
side is
loco.
like they're watching Coco, and she's
Yeah.
like,
That's
Did that make me cry?
remember me.
That's Disney synergy right there.
I know.
That's-
See, and then I would have been like, I haven't watched
buying
Coco
in.
in a while. Let me stream that. Stream them numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I love
I mean, it was
Coco.
cool. It was. I just thought it's another great episode. I think the voice cast is just so good.
So good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Is Cyclops the original? Or is he?
I think he was new.
Dude, he's great. I love his voice.
Dude, Cyclops is
You know the one I don't like? It's probably Wolverine.
the one you don't like?
He's not my favorite. Yeah,
No,
version of it.
he's the original though.
Is he?
He's older now.
Maybe it's the way they're animating his like mouth movements. I don't know. Something bugs me a little bit of it. Or maybe Huge Jacked Man is just so good
Yeah,
that
he
it changed
just-
changed the bar.
Over, yeah. Could be.
But yeah, I like Cyclops a lot. His voice is great. And his character is great too. Like the character development with Cyclops, awesome. I've never been like a huge Cyclops fan. But this version
Yeah.
of it
Yeah,
is
it's
so
good.
good.
I did like when Cable was also like, "Get out of my mind. You're not her." I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn,
Cable's
bro.
hard, dude.
Shit.
Cable's hard. Oh yeah, those guys are easy. Electronic cluster bomb, bro. Easy clap. Like everyone's like, oh, they're all about to
Yeah,
die. He just throws a
That's
little.
eliminated.
That was funny.
It was
Yeah.
good though, and the
X-Men's great.
it's been.
Man.
I'm again.
You got to watch it.
I hope they do something like this with the new Marvel X-Men. I don't want it to be,
Oh,
like let's go the
I hope
Marvel
so.
route that we've done, and it's like everything's jokey. Like this feels like it goes. It understands that the audience for the show are people that grew up with this, and so they're
Intellectuals. You know what I mean?
yes.
Bro, so smart.
So hi,
High intellect.
But they understand like the people watching the show are going to be the adults now that were watching it as kids.
Yeah.
And so they don't. First of all, I feel like cartoons back in the day were more mature, like, and we're putting stuff that would.
They had deeper stuff.
And so this feels
More
like they're just like,
serious
yeah, we're going to trust our audience with just being able to deal with the dark stuff and these metaphors and these things. Where I feel like in Marvel movies, it's been like, we got kids audience, like, let's dumb down the humor, let's kind of make this. And I hope they don't do that with X-Men. I hope it's kind of like, hey, let's really lean into this.
They'll have like a very few handful of like serious moments.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And
they're always undercut. Everything's undercut with a joke. Like, you can't let people sit in the despair or the sadness too long. It's like someone's got to burst in through the door and be like,
"Yep, levity.
There's a snake in my boot," or something like that. It's just like they undercut everything with humor.
Disney Pixar. Yep, that's right. I could see them doing a little bit more lighthearted stuff, because I think with the aims of those movies, when they go to live action, they're gonna want the younger crowd to be more into the X-Men. So I can see them, making it a little bit lighter, but I hope not too much.
No.
Yeah. But what they've got going on, I hope they're paying attention to everyone's kind of feedback on it. Everyone's super happy with it. X-Men 97. So I hope they kind of take notes,
Well, what's going to happen at the end of the series is they're going to walk through a portal and they're going to be live action. They're like, what happened to us? And then they're going to continue through that way.
Or
just say no.
It's just Deadpool wakes up. He's like, that
was a crazy dream.
That was a crazy dream.
Could be.
Yeah.
Good. We'll continue. I think the last 3 episodes it's a 3-parter. So we're.
Is it going to be one a week?
I think so. And then
it's going to be great.
One of the directors was like, "Oh, these are 2 episodes that you should go back and watch from the original series to lead up to." So I can't remember what 2 episodes it was, but
that's not helpful.
It's not helpful at all.
Nope.
But I was just letting you know. He's at least saying,
there's something there.
That's kind of cool that they're looking at the original and being continue that story. So you can tell they put a lot of love, like they're fans of the show, the original. It's not just like, let's make a brand new thing. So that's really cool. But yeah, we'll talk about it next week. And let's move on now. We're going to talk about Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. I don't think this is going to be an enjoyable episode for me.
Why not?
I'm just saying, because I feel like I know where this is going to go.
Did you like it?
I liked it, yes.
Oh, well then why wouldn't you like it? Why wouldn't you have a good time?
If you haven't watched it, spoilers, we're going to go through it. It's on Netflix. I mean, if you have a Netflix subscription, it's 2 hours. It goes by like that. Go and watch it and then come back and see what we thought about it. So,
yeah.
Rebel Moon Part 2.
Yeah.
You want me to start? Get the good out of the way?
Well, we can talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff first.
The good stuff. Okay.
It was pretty decent. You know what? I liked all the special effects were really good. Like the explosions and stuff like that in the combat, and all the lighting and stuff like that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Josh, you got something, right?
So I like this world. You know what I mean? I like the Rebel Moon world.
I like the swords. The swords are cool.
The swords look cool.
They're cool. I like the lava-ish laser beam things. Those are awesome too.
I think like the production design's cool. The whatever that was on the ship where she put the stuff on that was like the face of the lady or whatever.
They're called the Kali.
Yeah, I think you were saying something about it's supposed to be like an enslaved type of being or something like that.
Every dreadnought in the I can't remember what the bad guys
Imperium.
are called. Every dreadnought in the Imperium is fueled or powered by the Kali, which are these beings, and they've enslaved them. And so it's kind of cool whenever one shows up, whenever a dreadnought shows up, it kind of sounds like a woman screaming. It's mixed with the engines, and that's why they're enslaved, which is I think that's just a cool, like,
it's
bit
a cool
of
like
storytelling
lore thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't come across, but like it looked cool. Like
Yeah, you'd never
it
know
caught my
that.
attention of like, oh, that's a cool way to design the whatever the engine is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I thought I forget the dude's name, General Titus. I thought he was good in this one. It almost seemed like he was almost like the main character, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like they focused in a lot on him.
Yeah.
I thought he was the one that probably got the most development, and then Nemesis I thought as well a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they had already planted the seeds. So I enjoyed her. Oh, that's the other thing I thought was cool. Her like gauntlet stuff where she's like, I'm gonna cut my arms off and then put on these other gauntlets. I'm like, I don't know what those gauntlets did or what like the benefit of it was.
Yeah,
but it
because
looked cool.
I wish they would have said like
cool.
these are legendary artifacts.
They-
that
Well, that's
are-
what she said. She was like,
But,
it was
like,
They
something
say
like-
it in the first one. They drop a line about her arms where when they go to the planet, those are they get so hot that you can't hold them without the gauntlets.
Oh, the swords
So
too?
you cut your hands off in the ritual.
Oh, so that's why they're red.
Yes,
They're hotter
'cause
than
they're-
the blue ones.
Yes,
Even though it's backwards. but-
and so that's why she
Red
needs
hot.
the gauntlets to hold them, because they're the weapon of her culture, and that's you'd sacrifice your hands to be able to wield.
I would say in general, just sub characters, like secondary characters, like the heroes or whatever, their development was better. And I expected that because of how much they just kind of rushed through everything in the
Yeah.
first one. They're just like set up. I knew that this second one, in my opinion, for me was going to be a little bit more enjoyable than the first one, because the first one was just a mess. It was just way too rushed. It was crazy. It was hard to kind of keep up with it. But this one, yeah, I felt way more connected to her and Titus. I actually felt goosebumps with her moment with like the child and also the last fight she had and stuff like that. That was really good emotionally. It was great. But I didn't, man. Oh yeah, I know. We're talking about good things. Right. Sorry.
All right, give us your long list of good stuff, dude.
Yeah.
No,
Give
I
us the
think-
goods, bro.
I think for a movie that's on Netflix, I think it looks really good.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm just saying,
What
like,
is that supposed to mean?
it doesn't have the big budgets of like movies that you're going to get in movie theaters, but I feel like it looked better than even some of those. Like it looked way better than Ant-Man, Quantumania. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it looked way better than a lot of those movies that have been in theaters. I'm like, the CGI that just looked off. For me, it was like, oh, this looks good. I think I agree with you guys. General Titus and Nemesis were probably the best characters that they did the best on, and I just felt like they made more sense. I like the score. I know you said you didn't, but I like the Junkie XL score. There were some that felt like Man of Steel. I liked the like when there's a song that the lady's singing.
Yeah. That's the only one that stood out to me.
That to
That's
me
the only
felt
one.
like a Lord of the Rings kind of
pretty good.
idea.
That's
of
probably
like,
the best one.
and so I like how that would come in back through stuff. Jimmy, the robot, I think his action scenes was awesome.
I disagree. I didn't think he was that cool. Like, sorry, he looks cool, but it's like he was like this super overpowered robot guy, like killer robot that like comes in at the last act and like his only purpose was to take out a tank, and that was it.
Multiple tanks.
But like, he was just a plot device, and I hated that. I like him as a character. I wish there was more from him on that emotional connection level with all the characters. But it's like he was like this onlooker for so long, and then he just stepped in at the very end, and it's like, I wish I had more of that. So I guess it's not that I don't like him. I just wish that I had
wanted
more
more.
time with him.
I assume he's going to have more in the director's cut, but I feel like there was this idea that he's kind of like, the idea, like even with his antlers and stuff, is like he's a wild man. He's left,
Robot.
you know. Well, yeah, but like this whole idea, like he's gone off to the wilderness. He's like doesn't want to be a part of whatever they're doing because he's like, you have no hope.
Yeah.
And I think he has some of the coolest lines, you know, where they did it in the trailer, but he's like, I was given love for a princess I never met. And, what was it? Courage to defend a king that I can never protect or whatever, something like that. I just that line is really cool and kind of his idea that he's like, what's the point? I wish they would have developed what makes him come to fight, right? Because he has that one conversation with Korra, and I'm like, there needs to be a little more.
Yeah.
But I thought I think he's a cool character, and I love Anthony Hopkins' voice doing that. Like, it just sounds cool.
But like, as far as story wise, like it felt like kind of as a plot device.
Yeah. I thought I was hoping, because like he was one of my favorite parts of the first movie, and he was like barely in it. I was like, I want to learn more about this character, right? Because there's kind of mystery around it. Like, oh, well, he can't serve a king anymore, so what does he do? And I did feel let down by like, I honestly didn't think his like big moment was that cool. Like I needed something more than him just being like, let me grab guns and shoot people and then throw a grenade in the thing. You know what I mean?
Superman fly out.
It looked cool when he showed up. I was like, okay, we're going to do something. And then I just felt like it didn't reach the level of like, I'm going to get goosebumps for this and it's going to be awesome and I'm going to be stoked about it. And I also felt like it, in the first one, he saves the girl because she reminds him of the princess.
Yeah.
And then the rest of did he forget about her? The rest of the time he's like,
he wandered off.
Okay, it's not worth it.
He's like, I actually changed my mind.
I really wanted to save her because she reminded me so much of the person I was sworn to protect.
But it was in that moment. Like,
but doesn't that moment change how he thinks about things?
Well, no,
it should have an everlasting effect.
No,
something
because I don't
deep coded into his
again, he's a robot, and so it's not. It's not necessarily that
he's more than a robot, dude.
You can't have it both ways.
You can, and so I just feel like it's not like he's in that moment. He didn't become her protector. It's just that moment reminded him of his protocol, but that doesn't mean he's like, now I'm just going to follow you around. That's not.
I think it would be a more interesting story if he did. Instead of being like, well,
but
now he's gone.
But
I don't like on and off switches. I like gradual, rotators of emotional development. Does that make sense? Like, if she had that moment where he's like, I'm a protector, I'm just blinking into my old protocol or whatever, maybe that's the thing that kind of like opens up the door a little bit. And then maybe there's more moments that they put in the story to where his heart opens up or his circuit board opens up to them.
Yeah.
Because he's just a robot.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a heart.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a heart.
Circuit board. I think that was one of the things that I was kind of.
I expected more from.
Yeah,
it. That's maybe that's on me. I don't know. Maybe you said something. I don't know. I like to blame you for most of my.
Jonah was like, this character is going to be
in the
like
trailer though, right?
Yeah,
he's in the trailer.
So man, always misleading me these trailers. But he was generally cool. It's just we wanted better.
I wanted more.
Other good things.
Good stuff. What other good stuff you got?
I enjoyed it for I just thought it was like, again, for a movie that you just put on, I was entertained from start to finish. It's not like I was like, I'm getting bored. Should be over soon. I thought I already talked about the visuals, but I just think you already mentioned you were saying like, oh, do you have lightsabers? I do feel like the swords they had, if we could get the kind of those effects in Star Wars, would be kind of sick. Just when they were fighting, like how it would have the bleed of the different colors or the steam coming off them, that kind of stuff. I just thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed. I know people are going to hate this because people are complaining about this, but there was the scenes that were in slow motion. People were complaining about the harvesting stuff. And I was like, I thought, to me, with the song that they put in there and kind of seeing them do that whole shot, the shot where he fills up the water bottle with water shot from underneath. I know people are complaining about that, but I actually thought that was one of my favorite parts.
There's this one shot, like sequence of like 3 or 4 seconds where it's like of the backside of someone. And then it like veers off into like just dirt. Like there was nothing really that interesting for like 2 full seconds in slow motion. And I was like, okay, Zach, like, bro, chill it out. Like it's just grass or it's just dirt. It was not even like wheat, like flowing, or It was weird. There was a few moments where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to like ignore how much slow motion there is right now. And then when I was thinking that, I said to myself, I haven't heard anyone. I haven't heard anyone talk for the past like 5 minutes. And it was just this montage with no talking, and it was just the music and slow motion of them harvesting the wheat. And I was like, that's a little weird, but it was okay. Like, it wasn't like a game, like ruiner of my time. Like, I was just like, I think he's doing his little music video thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think he's doing his music video thing. Yeah. So I that's his roots. So it's like, yeah, he's just having fun. Let the guy have fun for 5 minutes. It's fine.
I don't think there were very many actually slow motion scenes that bothered me. I didn't mind the.
It was just that part.
For me, I didn't mind the.
Go watch it. Watch that. Just watch that stint and see if you can find the little like 2 seconds where he like veers off of whatever the main subject, some person doing something, and then he just like falls into just like staring at dirt for like 2-3 seconds in like 1,000 FPS, like super slow mo.
Hey, but maybe you didn't see there's something going there.
I hope there is.
But yeah, I actually like, and I like this song. I didn't.
I think it was better than the first one as far as slow motion usage.
Yeah, I agree.
That was more purposeful, and I enjoyed it more.
Yeah,
I wasn't like rolling my eyes. It was good. It was fine for Zack Snyder. Like, it was good.
Yeah, and so for me, that was one I enjoyed that.
Like, most of them had purpose, like super good purpose.
I enjoyed that. I thought the Gunnar and
Gunnar. Who's Gunnar?
Gunnar's the guy that's with Korra.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah,
so Gunnar. I thought they called him Gunner.
He's pronounced Gunnar.
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 Didn't they call him Gunner?
I don't think so. I think they call him Gunnar.
Gunnar.
I only remember his name, I'll be honest. And that's one of my...
I'm pretty sure his name is Gunnar in the...
Gunnar.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's what I'm going to call my kid.
I call him Gunner.
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 I call him Gunner.
I thought his like death scene worked well. Yeah. I do feel like they could have done more with them. But if you put the two parts together... I'm like, okay, they did more with it, but I was like trying to remember what happened in the first one, and I didn't watch the first one again before this one. But I do think I did like this aspect of it, is that in the first one she mentions like you were basically put with somebody, right? Forced to build attachments, find lovers. And then because you together would like find love on the battlefield, right? And that's kind of how they manipulated you.
Have someone to fight for.
And so she has this whole thing where the guy dies, right? She's married to him and this whole thing. And then she goes through this whole thing, and then he kind of dies before she can, she's like, I love you, right? But he's dead before that. I thought that was kind of interesting how he did that and how it worked with kind of her character. I liked people complained about this, but I liked the aspect of that she was willing to, like, because of her past and the way she felt about how she was at fault for all these things, all the baggage she carried, that she was willing to go with Noble. And then Gunnar's the guy that says, no, what are you doing? And he takes the shot. Right. So I like that about that dynamic, because it was like, instead of just her being like, yeah, I'm going to do this the whole time, it was like, no, she needed him to make that kind of decision for her or push her, because he knew that, hey, I'm willing to die for this. And in the first episode, or the first part, he was like afraid. Like, he was the one that as they were coming in, he was like trying to be like, oh, we can appease them, we can do all this kind of stuff. He was afraid of everything. He was naive about stuff. And to see that character progression, that now as he's gone through stuff and he's seen it, he's the one that kind of makes that decision, like, no, there's no turning back now. I thought that was, I like that aspect of it. And I've seen people not like that aspect because like, oh, that's a dumb decision on her part. But I was like, it's not about her more so than it's about what Gunnar's deciding to do.
The only reason why I didn't buy it super a lot is because she is so smart and she knows how their brains work and protocol or whatever and how brutal they are. And so like, I guess you can argue like, well, logic's out of her mind now that she's in love and she cares so deeply. It's like, but also if you care so deeply, why would you just turn a blind eye to the fact that he's going to take you? He's also going to obliterate this village. He's not going to let them live. Like, it's not even a possibility. Like, yeah.
Right.
So,
why would he keep his word?
For someone who's so like straightforward and like so smart, that's why I didn't buy it super good.
Yeah, but I think
Maybe because like the progression is super quick. Like from one movie to the next, it was like not that much time. But I don't know.
I think the reason
I get it.
The reason it worked for me was that aspect of I think in general, like when you're racked with guilt about stuff, I don't know if you necessarily think in the most like, oh, well, this is what's going to happen.
I'm just saying, based on what we've seen from her character, that's what she's been doing this whole time. And then all of a sudden, in that moment, she falters for a second.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's fine. It's just less believable for me. But yeah, I totally get the justification. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's more of, and you're right, it's more of a character thing on his
for
part.
him, yeah.
Because he was so scared to fight. He couldn't even fight. Do we know how much time passed between movie 1 and movie 2? Like
5 days.
Like 5 days? Like a week?
Because they say it's going to take them. I can't remember how much they said it was going to take them to get back to Velt.
Oh, okay.
He mentions like a couple weeks or something.
Okay.
They say something in the thing, and then
after
that they do the 5 days to harvest.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, give me your negatives. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me bring it out.
You got a list?
I got a list.
Whoa.
Well, I have things that I'd like to talk about at least.
Okay.
So one thing, when you guys talk about slow motion, one of the downsides to slow motion is that when you're doing choreography and you're doing fake fighting, it kind of shows mistakes. And so there's this one really funny moment where Titus is like in a clothesline a dude and he's like, ugh, and the guy's already jumping back before he even gets contacted. And that just was the one I was like,
because there's an explosion.
Because there's so much slow motion, you get to see every frame, and it was way before. It wasn't super well done. And so those little things, not so little things, because when you slow it down, it's way more prominent and easy to see. So when it's faster, it's a lot easier to hide. I feel bad for the choreographer because every scene is going to be slowed down. You have to be perfect. So that's kind of tough. So I felt bad because I was like, that looked pretty ridiculous. So if you go back to that scene where he's kind of like, he's just jumping back before he even gets hit, which we all know that's how it all works, but we don't want to see it in our movies. But yeah, I think that I finally felt goosebumps, and it was the mom exchange with like the kid, sword chick, Nemesis. That moment of her like final battle and stuff like that was very moving, and I did feel goosebumps for that moment.
And the kid did a good job as an actor. Like normally you get like the kids don't cry good,
but do you see how
they don't like
kids
like
don't cry good?
Well, they like you're like there's moments where you're like okay,
but come on, kid, get there.
Job, yeah.
But for me, that worked better because they sowed the seeds. Literally
in slow motion.
They harvested
in
them.
slow motion. Earlier in the story, where she's by herself, and he comes and approaches her, and is kind of scared, but still extends kind of his hand. Anyway, I thought that was really good. So that was probably my favorite part of the movie, actually. Okay. The other thing that really bugged me in the final fight with Korra and what's his face. Dude, she grunts, moans so much, and it's like super unnecessary. Go back, watch where she's getting choked out. Her breath is out, and she's like,
Hey,
bro, you got a lot of breath for being choked out.
Have you ever been choked out?
Yes, and I can't breathe. That's the whole point of it. You can't make noise. You go,
Yeah, but this is
Hire me.
This is sci-fi, bro.
Bro, I'm struggling,
in
bro.
space. It's different. When there's no gravity,
Bro,
it
watch
comes
it,
out.
dude. Watch it, dude. It's not great, dude. Let's see. We basically talked about most of these things. I really like the little moment where the blonde girl like makes the little like embroidered like flags for them, and they're like, "You're like the heart of the group." I felt very like cartoon, like heart.
So that so this is where I'll hop in.
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing that I didn't like about the movie.
Oh, you hated this? You hated the banner?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay. Why?
And I'll tell you why. Because for this movie, just in general, and it's what I hoped would have been solved, right? In the first one, I was like, I hope they solve this. I don't care about any of the characters.
Yeah.
There's not a like, maybe Titus a little bit, maybe Nemesis, maybe the closest. But everyone else, I'm just like,
I cared about Nemesis.
I don't care. Nemesis, yeah, she's probably the closest one that I was like, they did a better job of developing her character
and her history and justification.
Right.
Yeah.
But with everyone else, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I really couldn't tell you. We did have a nice exposition dump where they're like, we're all going to sit down and let's give us your backstory.
Yeah.
And we're, cool. The flashbacks were good.
Yeah.
But it was just like, we're just going to
But it's like
just dump it.
It's like force feeding you like this information the fastest way possible.
Yeah. And the problem I had with the pendant was like, hey, I pieced it together, right? It's like, it seemed like everyone in the village had a pendant, right? And it's like basically kind of like a rite of passage.
Because
Like,
that's what's hanging in.
it's hanging in the
throughout the town.
In the town. So I'm like, okay, I'm not dumb. I could piece it together. But so it's like you're accepted into you're part of the community. But I was like, we just plowed the fields in slow motion, and all of a sudden you're like, you're the heart, and you, Nemesis, you're the storm, and you're a loving mother.
Okay,
and you are the butterfly. Yeah, I'm like, what? Like you've known him for 2 seconds.
Yes, you're right, and that's where I think that slow motion montage, maybe should have been replaced with maybe some interesting moments during that where they have some connections emotionally on different things to explain that.
I didn't see anyone interact with anyone else outside from Nemesis and the kid. Like he's like bothering her.
I swear
and
they do the best stuff with Nemesis.
Titus was plowing the fields.
Yeah.
But like everyone else, I'm like, now all of a sudden you have this deep connection with somebody that you're able to tell them like a core aspect of their character and how that relates to you being part of the village as a whole and you're being accepted in the community. Obviously timing, right? There's not enough time.
Right.
But I'm like, if I'm able to see that character in the first movie and then I can at least see a little bit of interaction with the villagers in the second one, then I'll buy into the pendant embroidery, whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The interesting thing is you don't seem to have a problem when the people of Santo Poco invited the three amigos to come in, and then they just said, "Hey,"
they actually no, because there's more development because they've seen them in the movie.
Kisses on the veranda.
That's right. There's more. There's more time and there's more interaction.
I agree with you on the aspect of like they should have had more
character development
interactions there.
Instead of slow motion.
When I get there, no, I don't think instead of slow motion. I don't think instead of slow motion. I just think you're not going to be able to put interactions with every person. So,
but
there's a little bit.
They can move that scene later to after they've been training. You know what I mean? Because then you show, we're spending time with literally side by side. We're showing you guys how to shoot.
Was it not after the train? It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was literally after they plowed the fields. And they're in the little log cabin, and they're like, "We're dancing around." And I know we've been working all day in the fields, but I happen to have had time to embroider all these things for you guys.
I was just so jealous.
You know
I
what
want one.
It's just
them.
They sell them on. You can buy them on Netflix. Yeah,
and Corey, you're the heart of the Nerd Age.
That's
the
the
Nerd Age
worst one.
podcast.
That's the worst.
You're the
one.
heart, bro.
That's the one that was.
I'm not. You're the mouth.
It was on fire at the end.
You're the mouth of it.
But I will say,
you are.
When I thought about it. It was like, well, yeah, there's this, the aspect that they're responding to. Yes, there should have been more, but it's basically like you people you've come here complete strangers and you're willing to die with us. So I feel like that in my mind, that's what I was like, yeah, that's why they're doing this. So yes, it should have had more exposition and maybe put in a different spot and given moments. But in my mind, that was kind of what they were going for. Is like they understand that these strangers came here, in the same way the Three Amigos, like they show up to the town and everyone comes out and they're like, "See, you're gonna save us against El Guapo." They're like, "You're gonna save us against."
The fact that the Three Amigos did this better is a bad
they didn't do it
for
better.
Rebel Moon. Yeah,
they didn't do it better.
They spent way more time together before they were like.
You don't think that the Three Amigos are more like
because
justified and like understood that way?
What I'm saying is in the Three Amigos, I don't feel an emotional connection to the Three Amigos and their relationships with the girls. The one chick that shows up at the end that kissed Ned Niederlander.
Hasta luego, Ned.
She wasn't even into the part.
Yeah, but it's a freaking comedy and it's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're arguing.
What I'm saying is it's not like that was done better. But in that, you just accept it.
I wonder how many times you guys watched that movie.
Hey, dude. Three Amigos.
I think I've only seen it like once, maybe twice.
Shame on
Welcome
you.
to the Three
What do you
Amigos.
mean? I just never-
Welcome to
I
the
never
Three
owned
Amigos
it.
podcast.
How come
never
that
owned
wasn't
it.
on my top 10 movies?
You had it as an honorable mention. No,
Yeah.
you did. You did have it in your top 10.
I thought you were the one who did.
I didn't.
Yeah. How dare you?
So yeah, I can see that, but
Yeah, so I think just ultimately for me, it's just like character wise, it was like I didn't feel
No
anything.
connection. Yeah.
And it felt kind of like a little convenient that at the end they're like, I know, we know that the princess is still alive. You didn't know that? Oh, we should. Why didn't I tell you that?
well,
sooner?
Titus said that.
Yeah, I know Titus, but he's like he knew all along that she killed him, right? He's like, I know why you didn't share. We all had story time.
Oh,
and you didn't share with
where
us.
she's fessing up.
And he's like, so I know, and I'm gonna wait till the opportune moment so that we can all say for the.
Yeah, but isn't that
find
for
her
isn't it in any movie that has a cliffhanger?
I mean, in
Don't
some
you set up
cases.
the first thing and then you're like, hey, now you show the next part of the mission, the next part of the story?
The thing that gets me is they never show in these movies. They're not really showing. They always say they'll say in exposition the next story beat. If it was really good storytelling, you don't have to just write it out in exposition dialogue. Like instead, they'd have some kind of scene or something to allude to that. Oh,
Yeah, but how do you
here's
do-
why or how the princess is.
How do you do that? Because you need to know that, like, yes, they could have had a scene where you just see Issa somewhere else, but you need to have a scene that shows Cora knowing that that's gonna that she's still alive.
So I think for me the problem is I just don't see the need for him to hold on to that information to the end. You know what I mean? I would rather see her like do something better with her story to develop it instead of being like, well, now at the end she's so upset and we're like, well, it's all okay now because the princess isn't dead. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like kind of like a last ditch, like, yeah, this was happening. I know you're saying that that's what happens with cliffhangers, but I feel like there's more that leads into that cliffhanger, especially when it's something that's deeply related to her character, that she has shame about this thing. You can have her work through that in a different way than just being like at the end of like, oh, here we go. I already talked about the stuff with Jimmy. I thought it was
So I will say I think I can justify why he didn't come out with it earlier is because she didn't want to talk about it at all. And so like she had this whole secret and Titus is like, I'm just going to respect her wishes. I'm going to let her do her own thing. She doesn't want to be involved in that anymore. She doesn't want to talk about it. So you think Titus is thinking about like, what's emotionally the best thing for her? Like he's not a therapist. You know what I mean? Like he probably just knew of it. And
he's not sure he's going to survive the next day.
Yeah, probably.
so that would be a perfect time to share that information for her.
Like the moment before they go into battle.
Why?
Maybe.
I don't think so. You got other stuff you're worrying about. You don't want to be like, hey, by the way, you've been lying to me this whole time. I know about it. She's still alive. Now let's go kick some butt. No, that's not. That's not a good. That's not a. You think that's a better moment than saying it at the end?
That's what he
You would be complaining about that scene if he's like, hey, I know the Juggernaut just came out of hyperspace.
Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought just came out of hyperspace. And I know last night you didn't want to tell me a story, but I know that you did kill her. But guess what? She's not dead. Now go out there and follow the plan. We might be able to get through this, and we're going to find a quest for her later. You would hate that scene.
No, 100%. Because you're saying he can't do that, but that's what he does at the end anyway.
It's different.
No, it's not. No, it's not. This is it. Hey, you didn't tell us this story. You weren't committed to the team because you're so ashamed of what you did. Well, I'm here to tell you that what you did, she's not actually dead. And if we survive this, we can go find the princess and right your wrongs.
No, it doesn't work.
I'm inspired.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
How does that work?
Because at the end of the movie, she's the one that comes to the realization that she's been lying to them. She fesses up to him and says,
he didn't know.
She doesn't know that he knows. And she says, I've been hiding things from you. She comes to that realization, like, I need to be upfront with you. That's a moment of her character growth. It's not Titus coming and be like, hey, you've been lying this whole time, but guess what? No, it's she's realizing that, hey, I did this. I lied to you. And he says, in response to her being genuine in a moment of self-reflection, self-realization, that's when he says,
you know what?
I know.
You've earned this. And I'll let you know.
That moment is important for her. You can't steal that moment from her because then she never fessed up to her problems. She never realized what she was doing was wrong. She's just saying, someone else is coming to say, like, don't worry.
So he's just like a really good dad.
Basically.
Who lets the kid learn on her own mistakes. Like,
and so she's seeing, that's the moment where she says, hey, I need to confess something to you. And he's like, yeah, I get it, but I knew anyways. That's the moment. That's the difference between those two moments.
Fair enough.
Like, I think the storyline beat of, oh, the princess is alive, actually. Like, oh, she couldn't be so simply killed. I don't think that's a bad story beat. Like, I think that's probably what needed to happen next, because what else is next?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like on paper, just
if you're writing
plot
a story,
points, I think it works. I just wasn't happy about how flat the delivery was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just
in the director's cut. He'll drop an F-bomb in there.
Yeah.
The princess is gonna lie.
Can you believe it, you son of a bitch? Yeah, that'll be way better, dude.
The other, this is my biggest complaint.
Oh,
not long enough.
No, my biggest complaint is
no Henry Cavill.
No Henry Cavill, although there's rumors that he might be in the later ones. They're like, what if she's being protected by a guy with long hair?
And with long white hair.
Long white hair. Oh, yo.
No. I don't know
long sword.
Why the beards and wigs look so bad on the assassination scene. Like the king,
yes,
yeah, which
dude,
I love.
I
love that actor from The Princess Bride. He's so good.
Really?
But I was like funny. But I was like him and the
beards, bro.
They looked really bad, and I was like
Belisarius.
Yeah, Belisarius. I was like,
his just so weird, that scene. I didn't like that
his beards. They just look. I don't know.
Yeah, they look like fake.
And so
fake.
he has a scene in the first one where he doesn't have the beard. I'm like. And they kind of put prosthetics on him. So it just, to me, that was one thing that took me out of it because I was like, that was kind of goofy. And when everything else looked good to me, those were the things that stuck out that I was like, you probably should have put a little more money into the beard budget.
Or just, don't give him a beard.
Yeah.
So that.
My biggest gripe is, because I'm such a, I want to root for the protagonist. I also love the bad guy. I really want to, almost want to root for him. Like, I want to know his justification. Like, I want to be able to relate to him, but understand, but he's evil, or whatever. He's just such a flat, dead character. Like, he's not that interesting.
Noble or Belisarius?
No. Yeah, Noble.
Noble. The guy she fights at the end. Again, by the way, he's also ready to go. But he didn't get like crazy.
He didn't
get improvement.
Yeah.
Just on a technical level, it should be a higher mountain to climb. It should be a bigger thing. She already conquered him once, you know. It's just running it back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so lackluster for me. I want to like see a bad A villain like demolish, you know, the main character.
Yeah, I felt like he was more. He was better in the first step.
Yeah,
in the
I
first
do.
part.
It was
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
So I wish it was either him, cybernetic version out of
Give
his
him a mask.
mind, give him some glove, those mechanical hands or
Yeah.
mechanical legs or something sick. But it was just kind of like I was expecting more from the bad guy, but I guess there was a different focus on it. But that was a letdown for me.
Apparently the novelization of the first part starts with like focusing on Noble, and so it's like a chapter and a half of just Noble and all like the terrible things he does.
Oh,
And so that they're saying that's probably, I don't know, gonna in the director's versions or in the extended versions that's gonna be more fleshed out. I would assume each movie is gonna be an extra hour. So you would assume it's gonna have crazier
Yeah.
stuff.
I just wish there's more depth to him. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to do it for the glory. Oh, I'm just kind of a brat, and I'm just stubborn. That's like the main kind of
Yeah.
Not so much for me, but yeah. So is there going to be a third one then? Like there.
They haven't announced it. He said he's written.
Because I thought it was just 2.
No, so
Okay.
there's 6 movies total.
Okay, but they haven't been greenlit or anything.
Yes, they haven't been greenlit, and so it's going to depend on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, these movies have gotten. That's my biggest complaint with this.
Rotten Tomatoes has the score at 53% for audience score. The critics is 18.
Yeah, to me, this is what drives me crazy about this. These movies are probably my least favorite Zack Snyder movies.
No, the dead one, the undead one.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
the worst
I'd probably put it over Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
But it's not like
See, we agree
to
on
me
things.
it's not like these are not my favorite Zack Snyder movies.
Yeah.
I do not think they're as bad as people are saying they are. Like to me, when people are saying like these are the worst movies of the decade, I'm like you're crazy.
You haven't been watching a lot of movies then,
and
brother.
I'm like, Madam Web just came out and was
Suicide Squad.
terrible.
Did you ever watch that?
Like, Thor: Love and Thunder. Like I can actually watch these movies and be like, oh, okay, I liked it. It wasn't the greatest, but I enjoyed it. But to be like, this is a 13 on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like,
it's
you're
not that low.
ridiculous. And the amount of people that are just like, he's a D-list
52.
director and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, ugh. Like, to me, it's just like the hate. And I get it. People are annoyed with Snyder fans because of whatever. But to just go in and trash a movie that you're like, you're not even giving it a fair shot. And I get it. There's issues with the movie. But to be like the worst movie of the decade, there's a guy on TikTok that will make videos of like my comments and he'll be like, this is the worst director. I can't believe this guy is defending this guy.
He
And
makes videos of
he'll
your comments.
He'll like stitch. You know how you can do that? And we go back and forth because we're friends. He's like, man, I love their content and everything. But man, Zack Snyder is a D-list director, and these are the worst movies of the decade. I'm like, when at the moment where you say that, where it's such an extreme, I was like, you lose credibility because it's not the worst movie of the decade.
He's not a D-list.
No,
You need to see some other movies.
He's C- at least.
I mean, if you want to put him as in a B tier,
would
that's
put
fine.
him
But I'm
at-
like, he's not like if you want to put him in C tier, okay. But I was like D. I mean, Zack Snyder's done some pretty amazing movies.
I think
and
lately-
he's well known in the industry as far as like people being like, oh, like he's a visionary. Like the fact that James Cameron, Christopher Nolan, and Robert Rodriguez and other people like that have said Zack Snyder is a visionary in the industry, that alone puts you
Whenever
on
there's
not
a trailer,
a D.
they say from the visionary director. So, you know,
No,
it's
he doesn't
true.
say director, just for the visionary. Dude, I mean, he makes beautiful stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
deny that. Gorgeous cinematography. The frames that he creates are just, you can put them on your wall.
Except for that dirt scene.
Except for the, dude, I'm
I'm gonna frame that. I'm gonna frame that dirt scene
I'll
for
send you
you.
a screenshot of that crap.
I gotta watch it in context though, because
No.
yes,
You gotta
yes,
watch it.
because let me just
for
tell you
2
something.
seconds.
I've been doing videos.
You've been doing videos.
I've been doing videos for like soccer and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I will every once in a while dip into the slow-mo shot.
Yeah.
But depending on the song, I might have to make that slow-mo shot go a little longer so that the flip to the next thing lands on the beat. Because if it lands before or after, it's funky.
But that doesn't mean keep dragging camera off interesting thing into ground. No, that just means slow it down a little bit more. Or
no, but if you slow it down more, people are like, man, that slow motion was way too slow.
Bro, it's already so slow. No one says that, actually. No one says it's too slow. People
I don't know.
just say it takes too long.
I feel like, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to discuss it. We'll see you in live action.
Oh. Hey, okay, so let's do a rating each on what we think it was. Do you guys remember what you gave number one?
I can't remember.
Okay. I think I gave the first one, I think was I nice?
You gave it a 7-1 or something like that.
Did I really?
I thought so.
That's very kind.
Maybe a 6. No, maybe you were 6-8.
Had to be 6.
6-8.
Had to
I
be
think
the
you
sixes,
were like that.
Yeah. I think if I could go back in time and lower the first ones, I'd lower it down to like a 6-1 or something like that. And I think I put the second one at like a 7, like 7-1 or 7-2.
That's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. By the way, just so you guys know.
Because yeah. Man, I do feel like I have a little bit of recency bias on stuff I watch, but I did feel goosebumps. I felt something in this movie.
There you go.
And that's a huge thing. So I put it at 7.1. Locked in. Very kind. Josh, you can't decide. Jonah, what do you give
I
it?
can't remember what I gave the first one.
8 something. 8.2 or 8.4.
Did I give it that high?
Yes, you did. 8.2 or 8.4.
So if I could go back and give it a lower.
We can go back in time.
Go back.
That's the whole idea.
So I'd give the first one a 7.5.
Okay.
Okay. And I'd give this one a 7.7.
Okay. You know what? I respect you for that a lot. That's good. That shows character development in real life. It does.
Growth, you know.
So,
Someone made me a little thing that said that I was the mouth of the podcast, and I felt like, I just had to.
I don't remember what I gave the first one.
But if you could go back.
I think yours is like in the 5s.
No,
or
no,
6s.
no.
6s.
I might have given it a 7.
No.
I thought I gave the first one a 7.
Oh, did me
Someone
and Mick?
gave it a 6.9 because someone said nice.
Maybe it's Mick. He might have done that.
I think I was in the high 6s, maybe low 7s.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I don't know what it is. I think I like the first one better.
No way, Josh.
So
there's no way.
It doesn't make sense,
There
right?
were so many bad
Because
things in the first one.
The first one's just like jumbled.
Yes, and it was rushed.
And the second one's like more of a cohesive story.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I found things more interesting in the first one.
You didn't feel anything with Nemesis.
That's the only good thing.
Cold-hearted?
But I'm like,
He is.
I've seen this story. I've seen this
Unbelievable.
story before. You know what I mean? There wasn't anything that stood out as like this is unique in a different way. And at least I was unique New York. I don't know, brown cow. At least the first one, I was seeing different worlds, and I was like exploring things.
What? That's such surface level stuff.
Hey, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I like the different colors of the planets.
Sitting-
The colors of the
I'm just
rainbow.
joking.
Sitting,
Valid.
Sitting through this movie was honestly a little tough. For me.
Wow.
But I'm a generous man.
I mean, we're not getting paid for this. You can do whatever you want.
It's probably a 6.
Oh, yeah. That's how you should sound when you're getting choked out. Not.
Yeah, and it was a 6.
I think that's a nitpick,
It
by
was
the
a
way.
6.5 until Corey mentioned
Is that not what we're here for?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
This is
saying.
called the
I'm just saying.
Nitpick
Bro,
Podcast.
go back and watch it, dude.
We should change our name to the Nitpick Podcast.
How about I do this? How about I choke you out and see how much noise you make?
Yeah, there you go.
We'll make it a short.
All right. 6.
6.
Yeah, I honestly just
Not a big fan of the Snyder man.
I wasn't.
Snyder man.
I wanted to like. I wanted to like it, but it just felt like watching it. I was like,
You really don't think that it was better than the first one? Because the first one, you get to take all that they gave you there in the first one, carry that into the second one, so at least you know a little bit more about the
and it
characters and
still
stuff.
wasn't good. I was expecting it to be so much better than the first one.
I can't
So
wait to
much.
sit down and
My
watch
bro-
all 6 movies. in a row.
I'm like, wow, I finally understand who this character is. After 20 hours of screen time.
Here's a question for you
10
guys.
hours of slow-mo.
Are you guys interested in watching apparently they're saying in August. So this is what we know about the director's cuts. He says they're basically different movies. He's like, they have different titles.
Okay.
So it's not.
It's the scare
It's
giver.
the Scar Receiver.
No, he's like, they have different titles.
What'd you
and
say?
Different.
scare giver.
He's like, different titles and names.
Caregiver.
He said that even the lines that they did are going to be completely different.
Okay.
But here's where he's like, they're having a hard time getting it down from NC-17 rating to rated R.
But isn't that because of sexual stuff?
It can be sex or violence. One of the things he
I'm
said,
okay with the violence.
one of
whatever.
the things he said was, there's a shot in the first one, where she puts the gun
Yeah.
in the barn to the guy's head.
Yeah.
And then the shot goes behind and
Yeah.
the guy falls in slow motion.
And they
He's
show
he's
that.
like in the director in the other version. He's like, because he was on with the slow-mo guys, the guys that do like YouTube slow-mo stuff. He's
Yeah.
like, it's like you see all the sludge, which is what the
Yeah.
bullets are called. He's like, you see it go in and then
Comes
it
out of
starts
the
doing
nose.
cracks all over his face, and you'll see that his face basically explode. And he's like, so because of those type of things,
His head got
He's like-
filled up with lava juice.
basically.
Dang, dude.
So, but
Okay.
it is going to be, he's like, it's over the top. He's already said it, sex and violence.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, I don't want over the top sex. I
No.
think it's dumb.
There's no point.
And so now it's like, well,
cue Henry Cavill.
that's what people were like, Henry Cavill showing. I was like, not after he said that sex scenes were
Yeah.
meaningless and pointless. I was
He's
like, he's
right.
not showing up.
He's
I
right.
told
Zack
Jonah,
Snyder.
I told
He's
Jonah
right.
he's just showing up for a sex scene.
That'd be hilarious.
A slow motion.
He's not even on the main theatrical
Yeah,
cut.
he
He's
just
like
shows up.
just extended.
He's actually the
And he's
squid.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That to me is one of the things I'm like,
Yeah, no, not a. That's probably my least favorite thing about Zack Snyder. It's just that aspect of it. You know, with like the undead one, the zombie one. Yeah, just don't. I don't want to. No, thank you. Unnecessary.
I feel like
no,
it-
thank you.
there wasn't really a sex scene in there was the opening one. Like,
Yeah,
there was some.
literally, it opened so rudely. I did not appreciate it. That was like so caught me off guard so much. I was like, "What is this?"
I feel like it,
Jeez,
I'm
chill out,
I'm
Zach.
slightly annoyed
By Zach or
that he's like
the nudity?
completely different movie,
I know.
completely different title.
Yeah, I mean, isn't
Bro,
that a sales?
just
Isn't that a sales
come
ploy
on,
though?
dude.
Isn't that and to his point, if you change all the dialogue, it will be a different movie. But won't it have the same
Dude.
end zone? Like, won't it have the same story points?
I would
Yes.
love it if he was like different actors. We went with a completely
Different
different,
cast.
cast.
Different location. It's actually, yeah, no, right.
All the names of the planets are
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
completely different.
It's not even space, bro. It's
No, but
underwater,
I think
bro.
it's smart in one way where it's like, yeah, you get to be able to be like, hey, here's a PG-13 version that kids can watch, and he's like, and then now if you want more of this,
Yeah, but to claim it's a different movie is a bit of a stretch. And I think he does that a little bit to some degree where he likes to emphasize every point, you know, and thought process and stuff like that. But that feels a little, he might be blowing it out of proportion a little bit.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Or I guess I'll see and let you guys know.
Yeah. Maybe you give me the heads up because it's what's going to be 3 hours probably.
He said an hour for an hour each
Just
one.
an hour of sex and violence.
I don't
Jeez,
think it's going to
Goodness
be
gracious.
that much. I can't imagine. Obviously,
But you know when those scenes are going to be. Like, they literally cut away at those moments where they're going to have.
well, yeah. So like at the beginning of the first one, they're
Yeah.
like, "Let's all sleep together."
Yeah, it's
and it's
the
like,
day
I
of
was like, "How did you go?" We
Yeah.
got 10 minutes of slow mo of farmers having sex.
Ugh.
But yeah,
Music
so, I don't
videos,
know.
bro. It's all music videos.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's why I'm not as excited for him because I'm like,
Yeah.
if you give me the violence, I'm okay with the violence. But it's like if it's just,
Nope. Yep.
you know, what's the scale here? Are we going 45 minutes violence, 15 sex? Are we going 35 sex? You know, like you know. Hopefully it's 1 minute of sex
Yeah.
that you can just skip over and then Welcome to the Prude Cop podcast.
I mean,
The Prude Age podcast.
Unnecessary.
I mean, if there's a point, to
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
If there's an assassination attempt while they're banging, maybe that's a plot point that might need to be shown. But it never happens like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe Oppenheimer. Nah, not even.
No,
Oppenheimer,
that was
like
unnecessary
Oppenheimer-
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to think of the last movie. Yeah, that was the last one, and it's just like, ugh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Not
No,
a
thank
fan.
you. No, thank you, Zach.
No, thank you.
I'm
Zach.
looking at you.
Anyways, what did you think of Rebel Moon? If you watched it, let
Did
us
you
know.
watch it? That's
let
a
us know.
question.
Hey, it's
I'm
the
just
number.
asking.
It's the number one movie on Netflix. So
How many? Like you mean like recently released?
they do like their
Of all
top 10.
Oh, this is reported by Netflix?
Yes. So
No, reported by Zach.
so
He's
it,
like, it's the number one.
it came out and it was number one in 94 countries, which the first one was number one in 74 countries. But the other thing that this one was number one, and in a lot of countries, the first part was number 3. So it brought Rebel Moon
Oh, cool.
1 back to the top 10 in several countries. So,
Nice.
but we
Good
don't
for
know.
I don't understand how Netflix makes money. I don't
Subscriptions, dude.
Subscriptions.
Yeah,
bro.
but I'm like,
what do you mean?
but you know what I mean? Like, it's, the show's number 1. Okay. Well, someone's been paying for that subscription. You know what I mean? It's not like it directly translates to.
Well, you're right.
here's
You're
a
talking
perfect-
about popularity,
But
yeah,
here's a
sure,
perfect
yeah.
example, though. Like, I didn't have Netflix. I got Netflix just for Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
And I kept it through to Rebel Moon. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I might stop until
Yeah.
there's something else that comes. So I think they were saying that their subscriptions went up.
I gotta cancel Netflix.
So there's
I
several
don't have
things.
Netflix.
And
I
I
watch
think
it
it's
somewhere else, guys.
it's also through products. So
I'm
like
not going to say where.
they'll sell products through certain movies. So like you can buy the Rebel Moon little things, you know, little wheat thing.
I want the
Yeah, see,
Little
you can be
flag.
the heart, bro.
no.
The
that's
wolf one is
worst.
cool. The wolf one's
one
cool.
looks sick.
And also the
Who was
storm
the
one.
wolf?
And her storm.
She's the wolf.
No,
Yeah.
she's the storm.
No,
No,
Nemesis was
Nemesis
the
is-
storm.
She as in Nemesis.
Oh, Cora was the wolf.
Yeah. We got it.
Gunnar
What
was
was
the
Tarek?
heart.
What was Tarek or Tariq or what?
He was the
Tyreek.
pigeon. I don't know.
He's a pigeon.
I don't know what he was.
He was the hippogriff.
What was he?
I don't know. They should
I
have got
don't
placed
know.
in
You're
the
the
houses.
shirtless muscle.
Exactly.
You look like Tarzan.
And the other person
in
was like,
space.
you're the bonus lady with the shaved head.
You're the bonus Jonas.
I know that character. Yeah, they just had too many characters. If they thinned it down, spent some more time on these characters,
Titus, you are the general.
I think it would have been better.
Hey.
Zach, talk to me the next time you're writing a script.
That's right.
I'll give you my little input. And we'll make a great story together.
No dirt shots.
No dirt,
dirt
shots,
shots.
no sex scenes. that might
No
be
hanky. No hanky.
no hanky panky in this podcast. No hanky panky. That's right.
That's gonna do it for us. We'll be back next week. We didn't talk about the Bad Batch, but next week is the series finale.
Yeah, we'll just wrap it
So
up.
we'll wrap it up. You may see if I'm right. I have a feeling I'm not right. It's looking like they're gonna survive, but I'm
They're all
hoping
making
they.
it.
I'm still hoping they die.
Yes!
Anyways, I'm not hoping they die, but you know what I mean.
I love being right.
We will be back next week with more Nerd Age podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok until it's banned.
Oh yeah,
and
you got,
YouTube.
Like 9 months of
Yeah,
it left.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll be back next week. Thanks so much. See ya.
Yeah.